Hello there, welcome back to the Turtle Talking Podcast with me, Hayden.
And Teddy.
And this week's episode is episode 11 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Nickelodeon TV series. Me and Teddy will be diving into the Turtle series and dissecting and just having a good time watching it and just saying what we like and what we don't like about it and see if it's realistic and see what we can change about it. But let's dive into it, shall we?
Okay, well, first thing is that this is, we're 10 episodes into the podcast. So double digits. Yay. Guess.
Well, this episode
what do you think about this
really
episode
threw
briefly?
me off guard. Really threw me off guard. Because last week you said what this episode might entail, and I was thinking it's something to do with mice, mouses, whatever. But to be honest, I had not the slightest clue. But I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting it. I was like, yeah, I would have got that in a million years. So, but this episode is really interesting and kind of cool at the same time because we get to see other characters coming into the fold of this series now, which is really good. But we'll get into much deeper information about that later. But let's get into it.
Yeah, I found this episode to be frustrating because I felt like the whole reason why it's more or less happening in terms of like story was all like a bit false and was weird. Then also I do like you always mentioned about the other characters coming in. I do like how they're all coming in and it's really like putting the story in like one direction and everything's all coming together now, which I do like that. Okay, so for the beginning bit, we got Raph or the Turtles training, but that's when Raph and Leo start to fight again, and then that's when Splinter breaks up, and then the Turtles train/fight together.
Well, this scene was the typical brotherly love that we experienced in the previous episodes, but on a much higher scale than last time. Just the competition between the brothers was just spot on. Like, brotherly love is shown right there and there, and of course they're comparing themselves to one another, and of course Michelangelo and Donatello, they're kind of been rated as the B team in this episode, and I feel kind of bad for them because they're pretty good characters. Like we said in before previous episodes, like Michelangelo is probably one of the god tier characters within this series, but he's so underrated. But we just don't see much of Mikey. But of
Yeah.
course, they're in the A team, and there's the B team, and of course there's Leo and Raph being together. And I'm going off topic here, but why was Raphael and Leonardo put together despite the fact that I know they were trying to work together, but I don't understand where that came into play further along the episode. Like, they worked really well together, but they just had this weird sort of connection, like where they hated each other, and then they just went to becoming like this incredible force, unstoppable force. So that's I'm trying to figure that one out still, but that scene was quite funny to watch as well. But really good.
I'd say that the like this is like my biggest problem with the episode starts is where like basically it like the whole reason why they're all separated and like this is a bit weird and pointless, I would say. I mean, like the Raph and Leo fight scene. I mean, again, I found that to be like rather pointless. As like Raph is just like he's doing his thing normally with all the other ones, and then because he's doing it differently, he decides to attack him. He gets angry and starts a fight. And then even when like the Turtles are fighting each other, it just felt like I don't know. It just feels like really forced for this specific episode. And when you look at like other episodes that come before this and even ones that come after this, it doesn't really make too much sense in terms of their relationship. Of obviously you don't understand what I'm trying to say here. But, like,
Definitely,
it just came
I
out of
agree with
nowhere
you on
and
that
very
one.
forced for this episode.
It was a weird sort of mixture of rushed and storytelling. I just didn't understand it, but I guess it played a role later on in the episode. But to be honest, I didn't really understand it.
Yeah, like it's all like Russ' anger. Like even though he got over it in episode
Oh
3,
yeah, he never
it
actually
it
did,
didn't
did he?
really. So
He's
yeah,
still Raph.
nope. Yeah, and then after that, insane to Shredder giving up his of their money, them, and there's like a few little conversation bits here. The only thing I got to say about this scene is that because they're saying that fish or like Xever is going to be like useless and stuff because there's only legs and stuff like that. But he's a fish that can go in the water, and the sewer is made out of water. Why don't they just put Xever down
That's what
there?
I
He's
was
probably like one of the
thinking.
most deadliest allies to them right
Like,
now.
surely Shredder would have the conscious idea of using Sever, who is a fish and can breathe water, and the sewers has water to use him as a weapon, as a reconnaissance. And honestly, I was thinking, Shredder, Shredder, my guy, you have this opportunity. Use it. Don't launder it. Why keep him? And just a quick one right here. Why keep him in a fish tank? I understand, but I'm not.
Oh, he's a
Like,
fish.
Sever is in Shredder's private fish tank, and he can't go anywhere. He's just stuck there. And Shredder's just looking over him like, why do I have this pointless manfish here? Like, is it just to say I'm better than you because I have legs and I can walk? Like, it was a bit weird. Well,
Well, what else is he supposed to do with a
it's still a
fish?
human being, that fish. Although he's mutated, he's still a human being.
Yeah, but what else is he supposed to do with a fish? Just put him like another
Hmm.
like aquarium or something somewhere else in the building.
Yeah, good
At least
point.
this way, there's someone to talk to, I
But
guess. Um, but yeah, after that we got Vitel's talking about the A team and B team and compared them to apples and oranges as well as the Space Series TV show. But April comes in and tells the turtles that Pearl Dragon stole April's phone, so turtles go after them. What do you think about this little scene?
this scene, well, especially with the A and the B team, they were just talking about it, and it was kind of funny because it's like the brotherly love we're going back to, and we're seeing their rivalry and their competition between the two. And of course, when the TV show came on, when the captain said, "Look, you two come with us," and of course, when that happened, it's showing the A team is better than the B team because the B team is just to take the cannon fire. Really, it's like they're just to take the fire away from the main protagonists, and I just found that hilarious, to be honest. And it's just undermining Michelangelo and Donatello, and it was just really funny to watch in general.
Yeah, I'll just say for like the whole like with them kept using like kept saying A team. I really did think like there's going to do something like a parody of the A team. I was quite a little bit disappointed with that. The space heroes. One thing which I found a bit weird and funny with that was when they got onto that planet, they did like a flash animation where like the characters just like did a like flip over, uh,
Mm.
which I'm very
That was
surprised they got
funny.
away with.
Mm.
Yeah, and then also, like they're comparing space heroes with their issue in the episode. And I don't know if like Leo was maybe hinting that maybe Donnie and Mikey were gonna die. um,
I did
but
think
yeah,
that. I did think that. It's like, no, surely they wouldn't. No, surely they wouldn't. Like, we gotta keep it PG, folks. Like, keep it real.
yeah. And then another thing was that April said that the Pearl Dragon stole her phone. Well, she's trained to be a ninja. I'm pretty sure she could have done something to
Yeah, what
like.
was that? Like, I'm sorry to interrupt, but surely April was training to become a female ninja. Like, surely she would have pulled out some fighting technique and got her phone back like that, but maybe she weren't
Hmm.
ready.
Yeah. Well, after that, the trolls do go and track down the purple dragons, and that's when the mouses arrive. So yeah, this little scene. I like how Mikey's little entrance, where it's just going, wah. But the whole fight with Leo or where like Raph and Leo were being the pole dragons when Mikey and Donnie were going to, it's so weird. It's so out of character for Raph and Leo to be like this in this episode. They come out of nowhere just being like, oh yeah, I don't know. It felt so weird. And then another thing was that the Turtles went up to the table with all the Pearl Dragon stolen items, and they was only going to get April's phone. Not to mention that all the other stolen phones, a stereo, a painting, they're just going to let them take that?
Yeah, I was just thinking like, why? Like, why just take the phone? And I'm not gonna lie, this episode was giving me kind of a my brain was hurting after realizing how silly this episode was. Like, it's a good episode, don't get me wrong, but it was just a phone. It's just a phone. And later on in the episode, we do see the importance of getting this phone, but at the start, it's like,
Yeah.
it's a phone. You can always get another one. You're glad you walked out with your life. I'm glad they took the phone instead of your life. Like, be grateful. Like, I
Yeah.
just I just don't get it.
Um,
And oh, sorry, before we
yeah.
move on, did anyone see the painting? The painting, I don't know why, but the painting reminds me of Lord Farquaad from Shrek. Just the painting, the facade, the chin. I don't know. That's that's what I thought it was. It's like, oh my god, Farquaad's in this, but who knows? It could be someone else. Just just right,
Mm.
just throwing it out there. Seeing, just throwing it out there. Just looks like Lord Farquaad to me, which really cracked me up. So, oh,
Well, after that, we got the Mousers who come in. What do you think about the Mousers?
the Mousers, I was really surprised. At first, I was like, "Oh my god, someone's back from the dead." Like, I thought it was like the machine that took over Baxter. That machine was back because it also had those little robots, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then of course it wasn't. But I did get the fact that, and what really shocked me as well was like I thought it was the Krang at first because it sounded like the Krang, and of course the technology is similar to the Krang. Thank God it wasn't the Krang. But and what really came to surprise me was like it was really surprising that we saw these new robots come out in their swarm and taking all these stuff and all that. It was really good. But the most important thing was that we got to see a new, well, not a new character, but we got reintroduced to a character that I thought I wasn't going to see for quite a while. But I was really glad to see, and that was Baxter Stockman. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of like Baxter. Baxter is he is the scientist. He's the guy that knows it all. Like he could be Donatello's rival. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Donatello versus Baxter Stockman. I could see it. I bet someone's already made that into canon. If so, that'll be a good episode to dissect and just watch in general. But let's see what happens, shall we?
Okay, well, speaking of Baxter, the two teams do split off, and that's when Raph and Leo do go to Baxter. So a few things that I got here is how did Baxter make a whole little like factory in his basement? Uh, that's the only thing which I found weird about that little scene. Do you have any notes about that one?
I'm not gonna lie, Baxter. I'm just thinking he's like Donatello a bit. Like Donatello can make um, T-phones. He can make weapons that can destroy half of Manhattan. And there's Baxter, who's got the similar sort of style to Donatello. He's like really resourceful, really creative, but he's just got an entire assembly line full of these Mausers, and it's it's just incredible how these guys are not the rulers of Earth yet. Like, you have all this potential, but you use it to do petty stuff like stealing, crime. You can take on the government with this sort of weaponry and tech. Like, you could be ruling this place, and yet you only use a small percentage of your true power. But I hope they utilize like Baxter's ability to create like technology and more weapons, because I would like to see him like rival the powers that be, like maybe the government or the police or the military comes in. That would be just awesome to see Baxter's machines go ham on Manhattan. But hopefully it's in future episodes, so yeah.
Okay, so then in the next scene we got Dog Pound lifting a lot of weight. Then Donnie and Mikey trying to come up with a plan to go into the building. With Mikey saying that and the two won't be able to defeat Dog Pound. And then we got Baxter coming in saying that he will be able to come up with or be able to hack into April's phone. And Mikey comes up with loads of different operation names. What did you think of this little scene?
Well, this was a lot to take in this scene, and of course, first things I want to say is about Dog Pound. Dog Pound is absolutely jacked. Like, no word of a lie. He's just lifting those weights like no one's business. And just the sheer strength and size, like compared to the weights, it's like he's lifting up a dumbbell, but just 10 times larger, which I just found hilarious. And of course, his size and his strength was just really cool to see. And of course, I'm not gonna lie, Doug Pound is kind of growing on me a bit. His
Yay.
character is like getting better and better as time goes on, and it's getting better. Sure, it can't beat Chris Bradford, rest in peace, but it's getting there. It's getting there. But this scene was quite a funny one as well, cause Baxter turns up, and of course the purple dragons are there, and is saying, "Look, this guy double crossed us, well, not double crossed us, stealing from us from the stuff that they already stole from the other people before." We won't get into that because that'll be annoying just to get into. But there's quite a funny one, and it's really interesting as well. Like Baxter joining forces with Dog Pound and the Shredder and the Foot Clan. That was really cool to see. Like Baxter becoming slowly but surely a part of this larger group, and this and which is going to utilize all his tech and probably take over Manhattan with it. Like with with Baxter's tech and his mind and Shredder's like power and influence, like I could see them ruling Manhattan together, to be honest. Just seeing it now. Baxter as his right hand man to ruling over Manhattan. I'm just saying it now. I can see it for future episodes to come, but I'm just saying it now. It's gonna get real quick, real quick.
Yeah. I'll just say that I mean like oh we've already gone over this a little bit saying that like Dog Pound is like very jacked in this scene. I thought Baxter coming into the group I do like this is like almost like a start for him and like he's able to like outrank the Pole Dragons but still not able to outrank Dog Pound. So I do really like this is like his start for getting involved in the much larger storyline. Um but I do have like some little problems with like Donnie and Mikey here. I mean, like first off, why can't Mikey and Donnie defeat Dog Pound? They nearly did in the last episode. and then all of Mikey's operation names, it just felt so weird and forced into the scene that it didn't really have much of a reason to be in the scene other than just like a little quick gag which they never really go back to. um I say if it was like for I'm not sure how they could have incorporated their little gag scene into the storyline other than I'm not sure really, but like it just felt so forced and it wasn't really that funny.
Hmm. Yeah, it was. I'm not gonna lie. For younger audiences, it would have been funny, like Operation Blackout, Operation Power Out. Like, I just didn't get it.
Mm,
But for younger audiences, I think they would get a good laugh out of it. But it's just, yeah, I didn't rate that. But they just kept pondering though. Like, they have gone up against so many other threats, right? And they could take down giant mutant plants. They can take down the Krang. They can take down the purple dragons. Like, surely they can take down Dog Pound. Like,
mm,
I know Dog Pound is supposed to be like a demigod within the series, but I just trying to understand. Like, surely you could do something to hurt him in a way to get the phone back, but
yeah.
who knows?
Oh, I do even
Could have been
say this
different.
now that this is gonna really disappoint you. But when they were making the figures back in the day, they never made a Chris Bradford one. They only made Dog Pound. You okay?
Give me a sec. Give me a sec. You're telling me that they never made a Chris Bradford figure?
They made him into Lego. That was the closest thing we got to it.
Lego?
Yeah.
Ah,
And the
all
only
right,
way,
Lego.
yeah. The only disappointing thing is was with the way that you can only get Chris Bradford. You had to get him in the most expensive set. So yeah,
Why? Why?
you okay?
Yeah, I'm just a bit shocked and disappointed.
Okay, well, moving on. So let's talk about we'll just do the whole Raph and Leo fight scene with the mouses. Um, so I thought the whole thing with the fighting the mouses, I really did enjoy just because the mouses never get used to their full potential. They only used in like their first appearance within the show, and then like maybe one other time, and every time is more or less has always been the same. So I think to have the whole battle across the rooftops, the streets, and the way that they take them out, I thought it was very interesting and very entertaining. Just due to like this being the first time they find them not in the sewers or anywhere like that. And I thought that was really good and felt very unique and I would, and definitely like made this version of Mouses really stand out compared to all the other ones just due to the fight scene. Um, but the one thing which I found was a bit weird between all these scenes was one where Raph and Leo were running across the rooftops, and I couldn't help but notice how many water towers do they have in New York?
Hmm. Yeah, I guess lots then, cause I don't know. Like, I've never been to Manhattan nor New York, so I guess that's what they have out there. I'm not too sure, but a lot of water towers for sure, definitely. Like, oh look, there's a water tower, and there's another one, and there's another one, and another, and another, and another one. Honestly, I don't think the turtles were going to run out of water anytime soon.
I think like the water towers are like the water towers to the water towers are Batman's blimps problem. Well, like there's hundreds of them, but no one knows why they're there.
Mm, yes.
But what do you think of the Ravnier fight scenes with the mouses, like from the streets, the
That
rooftops?
one I did enjoy. I really did enjoy. Like they were trying to get rid of them, and they were spraying themselves with water, trying to get rid of the scent, but they couldn't get it off because it was due to some radio type stuff that Donatello talks about, and I'm not I'm not even going to try and attempt to say that because I don't know how to say it. But that scene though, like I liked how Leo like utilized the lamppost. Like I don't know how. It was either like coincidence or like an accident that the Mauser bit the fire hydrant.
I think it's just more
It
down
could
to
have
luck,
been,
really. Like,
yeah, luck. Like somehow sheer luck got the Mauser to eat the fire hydrant, and of course they were on the lamppost, and of course Raphael sliced off the lamppost, and of course the electrics fried them. They fried in the water, which I really quite enjoyed that.
well, how was Leo able to cut through a lamppost? Because that's very strong.
Well, didn't the Mausers chew a bit off though?
Uh, not sure.
Yeah, I thought the Mausers chopped it a bit off, and of course Raphael chopped it off, and of course the lamppost fell into the water puddle and just fried them all to bits, and that's how I thought it played out, but
Either way, unrealistic.
unrealistic. I
uh,
don't know. Maybe.
next scene or next couple of scenes we got which is the Donny and Mikey stuff with Dog Pound. Um, they do eventually turn off the lights and run in, but Dog Pound catches them, and Baxter is about to hack into April's phone, which he reveals that he's going to use to try and see where the phone's been, which April's taking it to the lair. But that's when Donny's T phone went off because of you because other people were calling them. But yeah, what do you think about these little scenes?
The scene where the the T-phone scene with with both of them, and of course Dog Pound as well. That was I quite enjoyed that scene. Like just because like Donatello just thinks of everything. Like this guy, how is he not ruling the world by now? Honestly, like Donatello, when the phones get taken away by Dog Pound, he pulls out that killer card and just says self destruct, and boom, the phones just blow up. They can't be used, and I'm just like, you've had that the entire time. Like surely though they would have been told about this feature, but actually probably not a good idea. It was probably actually a good idea not to tell them about the self destruct feature, because knowing them, like especially Mikey would say self destruct all the time, and yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna be a lot of T phones wasted right there.
Mm.
But overall, it was quite a funny scene. I quite like that.
Yeah,
Of
I thought.
course, oh,
No, you continue.
ah, cheers. But and also Dog Pound's like fist, like going against them into the wall, like that's just another proof of Dog Pound's true power that he's only using a percentage of, which I find really cool.
Yeah. I'd say that the T-phone scene, I thought it was like one of those ones where like it was okay. I just don't think there was anything to it, but I thought at the same time, they're ninjas. Why don't you have on silent? Um, and the but like the one thing
Good point.
which was like like a no shit moment was when Baxter said that he was going to look into like where the location of the phone's been, and that time and like when I was younger, I was like, oh my god, like yeah, like they've been to the April's been to there. Oh my god, they're gonna go to there and all that. I mean, luckily they didn't find out, but at
Mm,
the same time, there was probably one way which they could have gone around this whole problem was that if Baxter took away the like memory of SIM card that would and then put another phone, and then take it away so the turtles don't find him, and then he would have found out safely.
Yeah, just like instead of going through all that fuss with like hacking the phone with the encryption and all of that, just take out the SIM card. Like, surely that just take out the SIM and just take out the GPS, and surely that would work, wouldn't it? Like, you could have made your life so much easier, but nope, you had to take the hardest route possible. And where did that end up? Failure, as per usual. You need to think smarter, not work harder.
Yeah. Yeah, but also another thing was how did Baxter was able to quickly be able to make a program within what minutes or hours to try and hack into a teenager girl's phone? Okay, first of all, why does he need quite a big program just for something so simple? And how was he able to do that so quickly?
Yeah, why waste your resources on a teenager's phone? And where did he get the laptop from? I'm
Uh,
just trying to figure out, did he get given a laptop? Did he bring the laptop from home?
yeah, I think
Like,
the Pearl Dragons stole it and gave it to him.
ah, that would make sense. It's like purple dragons have everything because
Yeah.
they steal everything.
Well, after that, Leo and Raph do quickly get over to the other building, and that's when the big fire breaks out. And then Baxter attempts to spray Mike and Donnie, but then Raph gets the spray on Baxter and Dog Pound, and everyone leaves, but not before I think it's Donnie breaks April's phone. What do you think about this scene?
This scene, well, it was quite funny for me because they were trying to do catch away, or a game where they try keeping the phone away from Dog Pound, and that was quite funny to watch. And then, of course, I'm still sitting there trying to figure out why. Like, now that we know that the phone has the GPS, and that was like an oh, okay, it was a really bad moment. It was like the moment of which, as it was to say, it's like at this moment they knew they up. That would have been that moment right
Yeah.
there. That would have been like, yep, we screwed up big time.
Mm.
But but that was really funny to understand and see as well. And of course, just the catch away, and of course the fight scene. I really did enjoy the fight scene in this one. Like, this is probably like out of the episode, like except for the Mauser attack with Leo and Raph, like that was also a good scene. But this scene kind of takes it all for me because like they're all fighting, they're all trying to get the phone. Like, it was just a chaotic scene, and of course it even gets more chaotica, if that's even a word. Probably not, but I just made it up.
Just
I've
go with it.
created a new word. You're welcome. And it just goes absolutely mental. Like, Leo and Raph, they bust in and they bring all the Mausers with them, and they keep coming in. There's like a huge wave of them. It never stops, and it was just the moment where they use Bax's toys against him, and of course they do, and it was just, that was funny to watch as well. Like, Bax's own inventions are turned against him as well, and just seeing Dog Pound ripping them off, and of course he's the little Mousers. I'm not gonna lie, they kind of reminded me like little puppies just trying to bite his tail, and surely though he would just knock them off, but nope, he decided to run away and not bother getting them off, which is illogical in doing so, but I just, whatever floats your boat. But the really weird thing about this fight scene, I know I keep going on about it, but this fight scene was a huge turning point for me because what was really interesting was that Baxter became a part of the Shredder clan or the Foot clan, or they become part of the same group that is
Mm.
now against the Turtles, and that was just really cool. Just how Dog Pound just yeets him up in the air on his on his back and just takes him along for the ride. Like, he just like, okay, I'm going with you now, the strongest guy. But and
Mm,
that was just so cool because we just see them like immediately take him on as his new recruit, and I just love that scene for some reason because I don't know, it's just Baxter and the Shredder. Like I said previously, it's gonna go down.
yeah.
It's gonna go down. That I'm surprised by in the next episode that Manhattan is up in flames and Shredder's on top, and of course Baxter's controlling the robots. Like it's I could just see it happening now. I could just see it now. I'm just calling it now.
Mm. Well, I'll just say that the whole fight, like, so like, Leo and Raph got over there really fast. I enjoy the fight scene with, just like everything. Like, I mean, well, you already put it best, like saying that it's very chaotic with all just mountains running everywhere, and while there wasn't really too much like really happening, I mean, in terms of, like villain stuff, fun because all were like the mouses, and then one told would go off and fight Dog Pound. I did find it quite interesting, but I feel like I don't know, I wish there was a bit more, but at the same time, I feel like it was enough in terms of like the villains they had there. And I liked how this scene here really wrapped everything nicely up with the stories. I mean, well, maybe not a good story. It was able to wrap everything nicely, make everything come together. I thought that was quite nice. But Baxter's okay. Where did Baxter get that big spray from? Because like he was knocked out before he had a chance to put it back in his pocket. And even if he did have a chance to put it back in his pocket, that is still too big to fit in his pocket. But
Yeah, I was thinking of that too. It's like, where is he hiding this thing? He doesn't have a backpack. He doesn't have pockets. Like, it comes out magically, but I know some people are gonna put down in the comment sections like something dirty just coming. So I could just see it in the comments now, something dirty. But we'll just leave that until the time comes, of course.
mm,
But yeah, and just a quick one: how did Baxter produce a such a chemical for the robots? Like, I know he's got a huge assembly line, but surely you would need like a biochemistry lab, like with the highest rated equipment and nanotechnology and radio wave technology. I
well,
just don't see how he produced it
yeah, I was also wondering
that
that
good.
because like he's like because he's lost his job in the last episode we saw him in, so like he's more or less gone down to either like junkyards or he's stealing stuff. But even if he was able to get all that legally and all that, shouldn't that the the spray he's because he said like it was gamma radiated or something? Wouldn't that like be like very lethal and very dangerous to everyone? Like I feel I don't know, like gamma gives you like cancer or anything, but like I'm pretty sure that is very very toxic. uh,
Yeah, if it was like with gamma radiation, then surely everyone like who was being sprayed with that sort of stuff would get radiation poisoning, right? Like surely they would just die without the Mausers. They'll just die from radiation poisoning.
I see they're going in a very dark turn again.
Oh
Shall we
yeah.
move on?
Yes, definitely.
Well, after that, the Tolls do make it home, and they give April's broken phone back, and she's quite a bit disappointed, but Donnie gives her a option to have a T-phone, but Mikey then says T-phone self-destruct. What do you think of this scene?
As I said previously, the T phone features maybe be best to keep it from secret,
Mm,
especially for Mikey, because Mikey will destroy every single phone. Like like you are gonna have such a demand for T phones, Donny, that you are not gonna keep up.
yeah.
Because Mikey's just gonna be breaking them constantly. So I hope you have backups, my friend.
Well, I don't understand why April's so disappointed because she got the phone, but I know that it's broken. But at least they still had the memory card, or hopefully it's still in one piece. So at least she didn't really lose too much, anything like that. But then, like, I don't know why April would really take a T phone, just because she'll be the only kid at her school with a like turtle phone and all that. So there'll be she'll probably get bullied for having something like that. And then also the scene with Mikey saying the catchphrase. I know it was supposed to be for funny, but at the same time, it's just like, ugh.
Honestly, it's it's weird, but to be honest, I would actually take a T phone. Like, I would think that would be pretty cool to have a T phone. Like, it's much better than the phones out there because that the phone would be pretty cool to have. So if someone takes your phone, like with the phone, you could use it just in case a bully takes your phone. And of course, if they try and use it, you could just say self destruct and they can't use the phone anymore. So I take that as a win situation. The bully doesn't take it, and you get. Sure, you get a broken phone, but the bully can't use it. And I just think that's a win win situation.
But you still want to blow people up.
That is not what I tried to say. That is completely. That is not what I meant to say in the slightest. That's completely irrelevant. I didn't mean to say that. That is that what I was trying to say was is that the phone could be used to like as a countermeasure or something.
Okay,
That's
moving
all I
on.
was. Yeah, let's move on.
We'll get this final scene with Shredder and Baxter. And so the weirdest thing which I found out at the scene was basically Shredder says that Baxter got in the way, but Baxter didn't really get in the way. He actually brought the tails to Dog Pound. So in actual fact, he was helping him. Um, I know that when we first saw Baxter in episode 5, um, one of the things you said, and I remember this clearly because it was very hard not to say, "Oh yeah, they're gonna team up." Was the fact that you said, and because you said it would be cool if like Baxter was to team up with the Krang and the Shredder. So how does it feel to know that like you got one of your predictions right? And what do you think of this team up?
I'm actually quite proud of myself that I actually got one right this time. Like all the others, I've been trying to figure out for ages, and now that I've actually got this, I can take that in my pride. So I'm quite pleased, and I'm really excited to see Baxter, Dog Pound, Cypher, the Shredder, and the Foot Clan all working together to combat the Turtles. And it's gonna be good, but now we gotta wait till the Krang see what they're up to, see if they're gonna join sides. But to be honest, I'm just hoping they'll get annihilated, and then we won't have to deal with them ever again. But that's just my opinion.
Well, okay. So yeah, what do you think about this episode overall?
Well, this episode was very interesting. It was certainly a different episode to others, and it was quite interesting. The most enjoyable thing that I got from this episode was the team ups, like Baxter Stockman working for the Shredder. It's gonna go down. It's only a matter of time before Shredder is going to be using his tech to conquer Manhattan and the rest of the world, which I can't wait to see. And of course, the Turtles are going to stop him as per usual, but I can't wait to see the Shredder take over Manhattan using Baxter's tech, which is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I have to say, but this episode, I don't know, I found it really frustrating in terms of the setup for the story, in terms of the two tales going off and then come together. Like, there was no real reason why they acted that way, and it felt so out of character for Ruff and Leo. But I enjoyed how things came together in the end, and I do feel as though this episode really has set up a lot of things and in terms of like really moving the story in a better direction in terms of like people like really thinking, oh, this could happen because of this, and then oh, Baxter's teaming up with Shredder, this could lead to this and this and this. I mean, you're already thinking that with Baxter taking over the world. um, yeah. Okay, so for this week for comments, we only got two. So the first one came from Freelance Wolf again, um, and he sent me a link to basically his whole little few paragraphs worth of a comment about saying how he saw the episode differently. I'll quickly just go over it briefly in the first paragraph, where put quite a few people believe this episode is terrible because Don and Mike are depicted as weak, and that Leo and Raph are strong, and that it's bad because they all should be equal in fighting. I seem to be the only few people who doesn't see that way, see that at all. Like, okay, do you believe like they should all be equal, or do you think, and like also do you think they were like Mike and Donnie were depicted as weak in this episode or not?
To be honest, I think that they are all good. Like, the turtles are all good. They've all got their secret talents. Like, Raph's got his fighting skills, Leo's got his leadership skills, Donnie's got his tech skills, and Mikey has got his skills when and where it comes to it. Like, it's an on and off switch with Mikey. Like, he just keeps it off, but when the time comes, he's like a vital part to the team. But to be honest, I think they're all good in their own sense and way. Like, I think they can be used for different aspects and purposes. But overall, I think they're all good. I can't say like they not all of them are bad, but this episode kind of did disrespect Mikey and Donatello a bit. Like, surely though, they've been up against, like I said before, mutated plants, the Krang, the purple dragons, and they've all fought together as one, but now they're all having rivalry and competition. It just doesn't make sense. But to be honest, I think they're all good.
Yeah, I'd say that like I don't think they were really depicted as weak, in terms of Mikey and Donnie, because I was able to show that like they do have like their certain aspects of the characters which make them better than Raph and Leo. I'll say it's just Raph and Leo that were just written bad within this episode. But yeah, and then also to get to the point of like saying all tales should be equal, I don't think they should be, just because like you're really limiting like terms of stuff you can really do with the characters, and you're basically just going for the same character. And I do feel like that's what makes each of the tales so unique in terms of personality, because I mean they are so different and unique compared to one another. I mean, Don, I think he like in if I was to go like 2003 show, he's more of a pacifist and just want to fight, and he is he's one of the weaker turtles. But then you get Mikey, who's not really as focused, but he's one of the better turtles. And I feel like if you was like made them all equal, then at that point there's not really too much you can really do with the story of them, like all trying to be better and stuff like that. And I feel like you really do take away some aspects of the characters. I mean, especially when you look at like Leo, who is the leader and wants to do better and also training. If you was to make him equal as someone like Mikey, it would feel weird. Um, but yeah, do you want to hear some trivia now?
Yeah, let's hear the trivia.
Okay, so this episode was originally going to be titled Mouseathon. The name, okay, so on April's phone, when it was ringing, there was a little picture, or I don't know if it was a picture, but there was a name called Irma. And this is basically a character from the 87 show that was like like one more famous, side characters. Um, and yeah. The name Stockman Industries can be seen on the Baxter's desktop wallpaper. Space Heroes' unfortunate B team, specifically Captain Ryan, only bothering to refer to them as you two in the shirts, is a reference to the original Star Trek's Red Shirt trope, where nameless crew members wearing red uniforms would be either injured or outright killed in the course of an adventure. As Dog Pound and Baxter make their escape from the Mouser Hold, Dog Pound can be heard shouting, "Oh yeah," before slamming through the wall, like a reference to the Kool-Aid Man and his similar action. Hmm. Oh, we do have some errors. While Johnny is visualizing Operation Space Out, Baxter Stockman's face appears with Dog Pound and the Pearl Dragons, Tosu and Sid, except for Dog Pound, none of those characters have arrived at Donnie's location yet. Hmm. Okay. Uh,
That's interesting.
yeah. Okay. Okay. So for the cast, where is the cast in here? Okay. So we got Baxter Stockman by Phil Lamar. Do you know who Phil Lamar is?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, because I know last time I was trying to explain, then like we didn't really go over anyone of his characters
Yeah.
played. Dog Pound by Clancy Brown, Donatello by Rob Paulson, Leonardo by Jason Biggs, Michelangelo by Greg Sipes, Fong by Andrew Kishkno, Sid by Andrew Kishno, Toshu by James C, Raphael by Sean Astintein. For the minor characters, we have April by Mae Whitman, Shredder by Kevin Michael Richardson, Captain Ryan by Brian Bloom, Cranshaw by Scott Menville, Rod Rodgzing, I'm pretty sure I'm saying his name wrong. Um, he's by Greg Sipes. That other guy by Rob Paulson. Splinter by Hoon Lee, and Fishface by Christian Lands. So yeah, that was actually a pretty good cast actually for one episode.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, of course, Clancy Brown, best character because he plays as Chris Bradford, Dog Pound, and Mr. Krabs. Best guy.
You know, looking in here, like the cast, like it's actually I know that this episode, that this series in general has some of the more well-known like actors, but like I mean, does that? I mean, like I don't really look at the cast too often, but like just looking at it here, like just like wow, they do have like really good actors, and some of them I would actually would like them to come back to reprise their roles in other versions. I mean, like especially Splinter and Shredder. Um, but yeah, okay. So the episode 12 for next week is called "It Came from the Depths." What do you think is going to happen in that episode?
Oh, this one. I think it's something to do with the water. Like, it's to do with the
Mm.
depths, and I think I'm just gonna throw this out there. I think they're gonna use Cypher for next episode. Like, he's gonna come from the depths. He's gonna go into the sewer, and he's gonna find the turtle's lair, and he's gonna come out from the sewers and from the depths of the sewers. And I think we're just gonna see Cypher next episode, utilizing his ability to swim through the sewers, and that's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Um. Well, yeah. Do you have anything else to say about this episode, or is that it?
Um, this episode was really enjoyable for me. Like, I really did like the team ups in this episode, and just in general the expansion of this series and how it's going to play out. Really, really good, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I also loved the reference, which I never knew about, but the reference of the Kool-Aid Man. It's like, oh yeah, the Kool-Aid Man. Just that was awesome. I love that.
Okay, well, one final thing which I feel like might be a bit interesting to do now, since this is episode 11, but we've seen 11 episodes. Would you say that this episode is in your top 10? And if it is, what episode is not?
Hmm. This would be in my top 10 because of the team up scenes and, of course, the huge team up, and that's what I really love. The one episode that I wouldn't want in my top 10 would be. Oh. Either. I'm not too sure, to be honest. Like, it was either episode 6 or 7 where April is on like their first mission with the turtles, and of course there was a lot of cringe in which
Oh,
where
yeah.
you understand the episode I'm talking about.
Yes, I just need to hear that first thing. Everyone mission with cringe.
Cringe. Just that episode was just
where he confesses his, well, he confesses his love, and of course April shrugs it off through the robot, and that is
Yeah.
probably the episode that I will not have in my top 10. I'm just saying that now. I can't deal with this simp cringe phase, but now, and I'm so glad that he's going out of it. Like, he's growing out of this phase, and he's on the right track. His points are slowly going up on the board, and he's actually becoming a decent character, not becoming a super creep simp, which is really good for me, because I don't want to see that, especially in Donnie, because he's like the tech guy. He's going to rule the world. I can see it now.
Well, yeah, I think my sort of thing would be the same, where it's on my top 10 list, but it's quite low down. And the episode that I'll be removing from my one is, yeah, the exact same one. I mean, I feel like you've given your reasons why it shouldn't be on the list, and a few other reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Well, yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. If you want to leave comments, messages about the episode, in or upcoming episodes, you can leave a message or a text message or a voice message through the Anchor thing, or you can leave a comment on the YouTube video or the community page, or you can go over to Reddit where there will be a post somewhere. But yeah, this has been another episode of Talking Toes. I've been your host, Teddy,
And I've been Hayden.
and we'll see you soon. Goodbye, yo, bye.
Bye.